this is a tool that will allow you to conduct research on any asset that's of interest to you. Hi, I'm Joe Neighbour from Acuity Trading, and I'm here today with FXPesa to run through some of the trading tools that are available to FXPesa customers. Now, on the customer portal zone, you will find a tab on the left-hand side that takes you to an analysis section. And the focus of today is the assets overview. Now, this is a tool that will allow you to conduct research on any asset that's of interest to you. Whether you trade gold, whether you trade euro, US dollar, or whether you trade one of the thousands of stocks that are on offer, you will be able to find information and research available at your fingertips in the portal zone. Now, on the assets page, as mentioned, it's got the entire universe of assets that you are able to trade through FXPesa. Now, this is going to run into the thousands, so clearly we want to do some filtering here to try and find the best opportunities that are most of interest to you. Now, the most simple way of finding the asset that's of interest is just by using the search function at the top. And you can type in any asset that you like, and it will bring up the results for you that are most relevant. We can also use the filtering tool, which will allow us to use the tool to provide some inspiration to create maybe a basket of different opportunities and allow you to do a deeper dive into what is moving in the markets today. So we can look at all the different asset classes covering stocks, cryptocurrencies and commodities, indices and FX. We can also look at various regions as well. So if we're interested in looking at US stocks, for instance, or stocks that are listed in Asia Pacific, we can find all of this information available here. There's also a way of selecting themes, so we can actually try and find what are the best performing assets at the moment and the worst performing to really narrow down that search and allow you to find opportunities that will be interesting today. So once we've applied the filter, we can start looking through the various options that we get. I'm going to take a look at gold using the search function at the top to bring up what's happening with gold today and give me an overview of this particular market and look at the sort of information that we can find by using the assets overview tool. So once we've selected gold, we immediately get some information about this particular asset, and this will be the same for all of the assets that are covered in the assets overview tab. So we have the latest price, how much the price has moved, what group the asset trades in, which in this case is metals, and we know the asset class is commodities. At the top also we have a summary of the current opportunity. We have a scale that goes from very bearish to very bullish. Now, wherever the assets sit within that scale give you a very instant snapshot of what the opportunity is on that particular asset today. So today, gold is bullish, which is what we all want to see, and this is ranked against all the other metals that are covered within the terminal as well. So we'll go into a breakdown of the opportunity score in a moment, but before we do that, there are some other points of interest here. So we have the chart function, which will allow us to view the changes in price and new sentiment over extended periods of time. Now we can look at that on a daily basis, or we can go even more granular and look at the changes over the last few hours by just simply toggling between 1 hour and 1 day. If you like candlestick charts, we can apply those as well, so you can do some further analysis and understand patterns that might be emerging on a technical analysis basis, or we can just revert back to the line chart. Now on the charts themselves, we can actually visualize what's happening in terms of economic data, so macroeconomic data. We can see these blue tabs indicate that there has been data that's out that's relevant to this particular market. In this instance, we've got advanced GDP, and we can see the impact that it had. We can see that prices moved higher off of the back of this particular event, and we can see this as well here. We can see that the US interest rate decision was another pivotal bit of information that saw prices move higher. We can also look at news that's relevant to this particular asset and actually visualize this on the chart. Sometimes we see big changes in price and don't often know the reasons why. By using this tool, we can actually pinpoint particular articles or news stories that have come out and influenced price. Below this, we have the overview section where we are giving you additional information about the general overview for gold, looking at things like daily ranges and yearly ranges, looking at previous opens and closes, what's coming out in terms of the most impactful events in the future, and some additional support and resistance levels, which can be very useful if you're looking to plan a trade for the day ahead. Below the overview section, we have a summary. This is where we break down that opportunity score that we saw at the top of the page. So we factor in a number of different metrics in order to formulate this opportunity score and give you a very general snapshot of what the current opportunity is. The main things that we take into account are price trend. And at the moment, we can see the price trend is very bullish for gold. Now, obviously, if an asset is trending down, then the price trend will be very bearish. If it's somewhere in the middle, it might indicate that there's no defined trend at the moment and that there might be better opportunities elsewhere. We also can look at news sentiment. So again, using this artificial intelligence tools that we have, we are summarizing millions of articles on a daily basis. Any article that mentions gold will go into our calculations and we will summarize if this is a bullish or bearish opportunity. At the moment, the news sentiment is bullish towards gold, and we can also compare this to the sector average, which at the moment is neutral. So we always want to be trading the assets that are outperforming their general sectors, and at the moment we can see that's the case with gold. We can also look at volatility. So we have a scale between below average and above average. If volatility is above average, it suggests that markets are moving quite erratically and quite wildly, and we want to be maybe targeting things that have lower volatility and therefore trending steadily higher. The final section is news volume. So this is where we can actually see how much news is coming out on this particular asset at the moment compared to the sector average. Now, in terms of how much volume of news is coming out, at the minute that is below average for gold. Based on the historical data that we have, typically gold has higher amounts of news volume than it currently does at the moment. If we see news volume being particularly high, that means that the asset is being spoken about in many articles, and perhaps means that something's going on that we should be interested in and can help you formulate your trading setups. The next section is news. So the asset that we've selected, we will get news coming through that's relevant to that particular market. So we can look at all of the articles that have come out very recently to get ourselves really informed about what's happening with this particular asset at the moment. And we can read all of these articles quite simply within the portal. The next section is the calendar events. So this is where we have extracted all of the events that are most relevant to this particular market. So gold at the moment will be impacted by any macroeconomic data that is linked to the US. And we can see a list of all the upcoming events, and these are categorized by low impact, medium impact and high impact. The final section is the associated assets section. So this is a section that we are summarizing all of the assets that are closely correlated to gold. These are markets that other traders are looking at that are similar to gold and perhaps present different opportunities. If you like trading the same assets, then the associated assets might be able to provide you with some additional inspiration to actually broaden your horizons and look for some alternative market opportunities. So that's a wrap for the assets overview section. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and you'll find the tool very useful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Let us know your experience using the tool. So if you want more educational videos, click on this video above and don't forget to subscribe.